Well, this Wednesday is National Healthcare Decisions Day, and we are joined by Dr. Christy Stewart with Carilion Clinic Hospice, who is helping spread awareness about the importance of advanced care planning. Welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
Yes. All right. So tell everybody what advanced care planning is.
Sure. Advanced care planning is just a series of conversations and discussions meant to communicate your preferences about how you'd like to be treated if you were to fall ill with either a critical illness or a life-limiting illness.
Yeah. So why is this type of planning so critical?
Everyone is sure that their loved ones are going to know exactly what to do for them in the moment of crisis. And in the moment of crisis, thoughts don't always feel so clear. There's a lot of grief and anxiety and fear surrounding being sick. And so having those conversations well in advance of any type of condition that may occur really can help give your loved ones peace of mind that when they work alongside your healthcare team, they're working with your best interest at heart.
Yeah. And when we introduce you with hospice, we think of end-of-life care, but this kind of planning can really happen at any time. So what kind of age are we talking about to do some kind of planning like this?
Sure. A lot of my patients and their families say it's too early, and I point out I've had an advance directive in place since I was 23 years old.
Wow.
So we certainly don't want to wait until the moment of crisis to start having these conversations. This isn't a conversation about how far you want to go and how you want to die. It's a conversation about what's important to you in how you live your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Because that perspective is something that the healthcare teams need as they offer different medical treatments to you and your family throughout the course of your disease.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not just talking about maybe being diagnosed with a disease. Maybe somebody gets into an accident.
Exactly.
And there's some major decisions to be made here. You know, a lot of young adults, they go and they move to another state and they think, oh, mom and dad will take care of everything, but there's some major decisions to be made. So tell me a little bit about some of the things that, you know, people need to think about.
Sure. So a lot of times what happens when someone is critically ill is the healthcare team approaches a surrogate decision maker. And the first question we ask is this the appropriate surrogate decision maker to be speaking with that patient's voice and with their opinions? Sometimes the surrogate that you think should legally fall to is not the best spokesperson for your issues. In Virginia, it naturally falls to your spouse, and then the majority of your adult children, and then your parents, and then your siblings. But that might not be the person who knows your lifestyle best. And so choosing a surrogate is a really important first step.
Right.
And then after that, it's talking to your surrogate about what makes your life quality, what brings you joy, how do you want to live, how do you not want to live. And then that person then works alongside the healthcare teams to say, is this treatment a good option for that individual at this stage?
Yeah, I think that that's such a key thing is how do you not want to live?
Exactly.
You know, that's really key. So let's talk about some potential barriers to discussing these options with our loved ones. What do you see in your line of work?
A lot of it is just related to the fear and anxiety of talking about hard things. And sometimes in my line of work, helping to speak with a safe person, a person who's not as emotionally invested in your life, whether that's your physician or your nurse, or at Carilion, we even offer advanced care planning navigators who have trained interview skills to guide patients and their families through these conversations. It's really hard to look at someone you love and talk about how you don't want to live. Because selfishly, we all want our loved ones with us as long as possible.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes having that safe navigator or that safe surrogate can really be important in guiding those somewhat difficult conversations.
Yeah, I mean, that was my follow-up question was, you know, how do we overcome those barriers? And maybe it is bringing in that third party, somebody, you know, that knows, you know, the questions to ask, because sometimes we don't even know what kind of questions to ask when it comes to, you know, these kind of plans, right?
And there are a large number of online scripts or guides that can help guide families through these conversations. There are resources available through your primary care physician's office or your healthcare communities. You know, the websites a lot of times will have great resources to link into, so you don't feel like you have to stumble through this alone.
Yes.
Wondering if you're doing it right.
Yeah. Now with Carilion, where do you point people as far as getting more information?
We have a website devoted to advanced care planning.
Okay.
So if you go to carillionclinic.org, you can search for advanced care planning, although I guess this week it'll be right at the forefront
Yes,
of
absolutely.
that
Or you could do
search.
that /ACP ACP for that stands for that advanced care planning, which is so critical. Don't hesitate. Talk to your loved ones. Have these difficult decisions and these conversations now, so you can have peace of mind later. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for being here and talking
Thank
us
you
through.